The building behind us, Gale Crescent, used to be a home 15 years ago just for low-income seniors. And now there are still some seniors in there, but mostly it's drug addicts, alcoholics, younger people, hookers. And for some of the seniors still being there, it's just totally horrendous. The police are in there at least twice, 3 times a week, literally chasing people through the buildings. And Start Me Up Niagara is just an organization. I think they have 2 paid, 3 paid employees, and the rest are volunteers. And making the homeless and semi-homeless and young people, or in even some cases it's just an issue where people go in and socialize among where they'll be accepted.
My name's John Barolette, and I went to St. Catharines for the first time to study philosophy at Brock. When I emerged from Brock, I had a few addictions, and I've been in the hands of the mentally health practitioners, and I've been a client of a psychiatrist for a good 20 years. I haven't been satisfied with my psychiatric care. It seems to me the cliche is true. A chat, a pill, and a pat on the back really epitomizes what we have with psychiatry. There's no attempt in psychiatry to cure people. There is only the attempt to manage their God-given illness. You're doing a study on mental illness, so it behooves me to tell you that my brother is schizophrenic, and I'm quite at risk for it. And I've had like 4 beers already today. The money, you see, it's a question of money. There's only so much money. But do we cure somebody with a broken leg for a certain price? Or do we put that money into mental health care for a guy who believes that the fucking devil is trying to get him to cut off his balls? This is real suffering that people with mental health issues go through. And if you lived here and you want to know what it's like, it's occasionally you see a guy walking along muttering to himself and completely abandoned by the human race, if you ask me. Resources are low. Resources are low.
Jim, my boyfriend, dropped me off I was working for a Thanksgiving dinner at Mill Run, which is the bigger, nicer building next door. And his phone rang, so after he dropped me off, so he pulled over on Gale Crescent. When he looked up, there was a young girl chasing after his car, and it was a hooker. And I told him he can never stop on Gale Crescent. A lot of people don't realize that there's hookers. A lot of crystal meth addicts down here. There's 3 clinics, methadone clinics, here in St. Catharines alone. And they're of walking distance to each, like from one another. And there's usually a lineup about 7:30 in the morning at the Sadhu Clinic down here. I think it's on James Street. So they're set up by the government for people that have addictions and crystal meth. And they go in the morning and have their little drink of liquid. Like that other guy said, it's just a Band-Aid on the whole situation, a pill and a pat on the back. That's basically what these people get.
Not much bile too. John, and that's about it. Not too much, yeah. You gotta know what you want by bile, do you know what I mean? Not from St. Catharines, don't live anywhere right now. And whatever, like, people took advantage of me, that's why I'm like this. Taking your stuff, stealing your stuff. Just like last week, Midtown Plaza, I got rid of my stuff on Thursday. Everything's gone, nobody complained from there. So I lost everything, new sleeping bags, stuff that I bought, people that bought me stuff, runners and that for the winter, all gone. And it caused me to get very ill, so my lungs were filled up with fluid and still filled up. I got a bad cold being up all night. And my stomach has been feeling well, so I got a bad cold. I'm getting over an infection. People don't care. Downtown businesses, they don't want poor people around. They want to get them out of here. So most of the time, they'll chase them away. Do you know what I mean? They want your money to spend, and that's about it. They think they're better than the other people around here, but they don't want to help them. You know, so the way is just get rid of them. The bus station now has security there harassing people, just to push them out of the bus stations and that. And in the library, they don't let even people, the poor, sitting there in the lobby or whatever. Instead of the administrator, Jack, instead of him coming down and welcoming them in, and so that way some are slow, they need education, instead of helping them get in there and educate them, they just chases them out. That's not helping people. If you're running a library, you want to encourage the person to come in there and help them out. Do you know what I mean? You always get the thing of people chasing away. You never get the person come up and saying, well, is there something wrong here? How could I help you? Or, you know, is there a way I could help you? Or try and refer you? They don't. It's just chasing you away. Most of the times, like it is, they'll call the cops to chase you away or whatever. But, you know, it's just sad for a city this size. There's a lot of them here because when they closed down the psychiatric areas in Hamilton, the hospitals, they shoved them all down here. They shipped them all here, and they still do it. Hamilton ships them. Nobody wants them on the welfare roll or whatever. And the same thing with Toronto. They've actually done that years ago. If you check newspapers, they shipped people from Toronto down here, gave them a one-way bus ticket, put them up in hotels. City of Toronto rented that motel in Jordan, whatever, put them all in there. And they rented it for a couple of years, and half the time it was half empty, but just to put the people in there, and then they get on welfare here easy, and then they have certain doctors that go and push them onto disability. So then once you get disability, you got an income of $1,000, whatever, for the rest of your life.
And on the way home, drive by Gale Crescent, go straight down and get a picture of some of the hookers. A lot of people it's just unbelievable how some people just don't even know that this is going on.